Chairs No Waiting, episode number 797, listener feedback and comments. Two Chairs No Waiting is brought to you each week by the folks over at weaversdepartmentstore.com. Drop by over at Weavers and check out some of the cool new things they've got, like the Mayberry wooden home decor. That's right, they're wooden blocks with cool Mayberry sayings and stuff on them. You can set them around your house. You might also want to check out some of the cool Mayberry artwork that we have back in stock. You can go check out and see if there's other things you'd like to hang around your house. Pewter ornaments and sun catchers and ceiling fans made out of pewter ceiling fan pull, not the ceiling fan itself. And maybe if you're traveling, going to Mayberry Days and some of the other events, head over and check out the new and returning Mayberry books. All kinds of cool stuff over at weaversdepartmentstore.com. Two Chairs No Waiting is also brought to you by donations from listeners like you. Executive producer of episode number 797. Wow, that's a big number. Is the folks who attended the Mayberry Meetup recently, and the High Sheriff of Mayberry, because he is a very nice supporter. I appreciate you so much, is Chris Merrill. So thank you so much for all your support of Two Chairs No Waiting and myself. Hello, everybody. I'm Alan Newsom, if you don't know, the host of Two Chairs No Waiting, and it's always fun to spend a few minutes 30, 40 minutes talking about the Andy Griffith Show. And in the last month or so, we've gathered a good bit of voicemail and comments and stuff that we haven't gone over. So I wanted to spend time going into some of these on this episode and hearing from you, because really you're the ones that make this podcast keep going. Because if you weren't out there calling me back or telling me what you're doing or coming back, I'd probably quit by now, because it's been a few years. People still ask me, how do you keep coming up with things to talk about on a show that's 60 plus years old? I still hadn't run out of things. We hadn't even gone through the whole first season of episodes yet. So that may be kind of sad. I'm not sure. But let's jump right into this. We're going to do some voicemail. Then we'll do some comments. Mostly they're all from YouTube, pretty much YouTube comments that folks who watch the video version of the podcast have left. And then we got some trivia that's coming up as well from Paul Mulik about Mayberry Teachers. Mayberry Teachers. Now, don't cheat and go out there and try to figure out the answers before we even start asking the questions. But that's the topic. So let's go and hear our first voicemail from, let's see, who's it from? Leanne about the episode Alcohol and Old Lace.
Hi, Alan. This is Laurie Ann calling from South Jersey Farm Country. Loved this week's episode on alcohol and old lace. It is so much fun watching your looks at the different shows and giving us some background info. In this particular show, Otis claims that he is celebrating Sir Walter Raleigh Day in order to get some of the ladies' elixir. I'm thinking that maybe Andy was paying a little homage to the time he portrayed Sir Walter Raleigh in the outdoor drama The Lost Colony on Roanoke Island, North Carolina, which is a part of the Outer Banks. That play actually still plays, still running. He played the part for a number of years alongside his first wife, Barbara, I think from around 1947 to 1952. I have noticed a couple other references to towns on the Outer Banks, such as Nag's Head and Manio, that they pop up on the show. Also a reference to Currituck, which is not far from there. Of course, Andy purchased a place on Roanoke Island sometime around 1957 and is buried there. It's such a treat to hear references to places I know so well, as my parents lived in Nag's Head, kind of across the sound from where Andy's estate is. And I've spent a good part of my life there. I also really love the 2 episodes of Two Chairs No Waiting on filming locations. They were so interesting. I wish I could thank Dixie Griffith for sharing pics of the houses they lived in there in California. Maybe you can thank her for me. I'm thinking she and I may have crossed paths growing up on the Outer Banks when we were young. Anyway, just some thoughts I've had today after watching the show. Thank you for all your work, Alan. Two Chairs No Waiting is one of the highlights of my week. Take care and blessings to you and Dad.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much. Thanks for taking time to call in. And see, folks, you not only find out stuff about the Andy Griffith Show on the podcast, you hear all kinds of stuff about geography of North Carolina. So thank you so much, Lorianne. That was very nice of you to call in. And yeah, it is so neat to see and hear all the different locations around North Carolina that Andy kind of slipped in throughout the series. You know, when the show actually began, it was just supposed to be in the South. They were kind of sneaky in the first bit, for several episodes of the Andy Griffith Show. It's just a place in the South. It wasn't nailed down to be in North Carolina, but over the course of the series, that kind of changed, and you knew it was in North Carolina, and based on locations and how far things were, you kind of got the feeling that, oh, it's pretty much where Mount Airy is. It's in that general area anyway. So the town of Mayberry, the fictional town of Mayberry, would have been somewhere near where Mount Airy actually is. And it is fun to hear about all these other places. And sometimes he did mention places that were pretty far away that you couldn't have just gone over there and come back. It wasn't like real close to where I think Mayberry should have been. But that was pretty cool. You mentioned Sir Walter Raleigh. That, yes, I am sure that was definitely a nod based on him having portrayed that character in the outdoor drama that he and his wife had done for years. I'm sure that had something to do with it. Plus, it's North Carolina connection that he was referring to. So definitely something. You mentioned also about the episodes we've done of the podcast recently about the locations, filming locations. And yeah, Cody did an absolutely wonderful job of that. As a matter of fact, I think I mentioned it last week, but at Professor Brower's class that they held at the Andy Griffith Museum Theater on the Saturday of the Mayberry Meetup that we just had, Cody was a guest speaker giving information about the locations, shooting locations of the episode that Neil Brower was giving us information about. And that was awesome as well. It's so good to see Cody getting recognized for all the hard work that he's done and some of the great information that he's been able to bring forward. We really appreciate him a lot. As a matter of fact, let's hear from our next caller.
Hey, Alan, this is South Carolina Cody. Just wanted to call in and give a short little report of appreciation for everything that went on at the Mayberry Meetup this year. I had a great time fellowshipping with everybody and watching episodes of the Andy Griffith Show and just enjoying a great weekend in our favorite place of Mount Airy, North Carolina. So many great things that went on. Despite the rain Friday night, we still had a great showing of people and a great time together. And then on Saturday as well, and Neil's lecture and just so many great things that happened, enjoying downtown Mount Airy and just being with good Mayberry friends. So, again, thank you, Alan, for everything you and Jan do for us and putting these events on and everything, and to all those who helped contribute their time and efforts to the silent auction and raffle and anything else that needed to be done over the weekend. We all appreciate everybody's help and look forward to the next meetup and even closer to Mayberry Days in just a couple of months. So take care, and we'll talk to you later.
Well, thank you, Cody. Thank you. Speaking of Cody, there he was. And we did have a great time at the Mayberry Meetup, and I do appreciate all the help, all that was done during the meetup. There's a silent auction, there's raffle tickets. Weaver's, Mrs. Weaver in here, she provides door prizes on both Friday and Saturday night that we give away just to anybody who signs our guest book, so we know who is there. And don't worry, we don't sell the guest book information. It's just for us. But we do really appreciate all the people that help during the meetup, and honestly appreciate Mount Airy itself and the Mayberry Motor Inn especially for all the assistance that they give us. So if you're ever going to Mount Airy, North Carolina, I definitely suggest you try to stay with the boys that run the Mayberry Motor Inn now that their grandparents have passed away, the Snow brothers. are the ones that are the grandkids, are the ones running the Mayberry Motor Inn. They're doing an absolutely amazing job. They've remodeled some of the rooms already, and then they're in a process of continually remodeling and just making the place nicer and nicer for all of us anytime you go. They are some wonderful people, and I definitely encourage you to go there. You can sit around the gazebo and just enjoy the feel of Mayberry and talk to people that just walk up, and it's just so much fun. The Mayberry Meetup is it is a relaxing time if you want it to be, or you can be as busy as you want to be. There's plenty to do, even during non-Mayberry days, weekends in Mount Airy. Like we mentioned, Neil Brower's presentation. There were concerts going on Friday and Saturday nights. That's when we were having our meetup. But there were other options. If you didn't want to if you didn't come and watch episodes, you could have gone and listened to these concerts. And there's always something going on there in Mount Airy whenever we're there. And I appreciate the folks that live there in Mount Airy and put on some of these events. They actually kind of schedule, like Neil's class, they moved it to that weekend because of the meetup. So I really do appreciate Neil and the Surrey Arts Council for all their help as well. So thank you, Cody, for calling in. Maybe some of you guys will come with us next year, or maybe you'll just come to Mayberry Days, because I don't think you'll miss out on that. So here's another voicemail.
Hey, Alan, this is Maria Tolera calling from Harrisburg, North Carolina. In the episode you just did, Mayberry Goes Hollywood, you said we never see the Pike's third daughter. We do. In the beauty pageant, she's entered, Josephine Pike, and the mayor introduces her as their third daughter. I'm not sure which one we don't see, or when Juanita falls in there. But, yeah, we do see the third daughter. Thanks. Bye.
That is true. There are three. By when I said third, I meant the third one that we don't see. Yeah, you're right. Juanita is the third daughter. That's the reason we believe that at least two of the daughters are twins, right? And maybe all three. There could be triplets. There's a whole episode of the podcast. If you go back and look, there's an episode I did about the Pike daughters, all about this. And you are correct. I didn't mean to misspeak. I meant that we didn't see the third one, not the third daughter, because the speculation is that maybe they're all triplets. They're identical, because at least two of them look exactly alike. Was it Josephine and Juanita look exactly alike? Josephine, I think, was the one that was going to sing at Mayor sing sweetly, flow gently, sweet Afton. That's it. I think that's right. Or is that Juanita? I can't remember. I can't remember, but no, that was Juanita. So the other one's Josephine. I don't know. So there's like a lot of possibilities that the Pike's sisters, that there were three of them and they were triplets. But I don't think we ever saw the third, or whichever number it was, the one that we didn't see. We never did see her. So, but yeah, Josephine and Juanita look exactly alike because, well, it's the same lady. But I don't think it was twins. I think it was triplets. I bet they were triplets, all three. So I would have loved to have seen that. That would be cool. That would be really cool if you had triplets in real life to dress up like the three Pike sisters. That would be pretty awesome. Anyway, speaking of amateur tribute artist contest or something, that would be a lot of fun. All right, so now we have, I wanted to tell you this little bit of a story. I think I probably should play this before the next voicemail. A while back, a gentleman, Ryan, had contacted me, and I missed it, but he had wanted to know if I would record Floyd telling his daughters happy birthday. So here's what I recorded and sent to him. So,
hello there. Hey, I'm hearing it's somebody's birthday. Let's see, Briar and Ember. I heard it's your birthday. Oh, that's good. Yeah, but that's good. I hope you're going to have a good time at your birthday. Oh, yeah, you know what? I heard there might be cupcakes there. You know, if those cupcakes are ruined, I won't be responsible for it. No, I won't be responsible for that. No. If you burn the cupcake or the hamburger, if the hamburgers are ruined, I won't be responsible for that either. So, well, I hope you have a happy birthday. See you later. Oh, by the way, this was Floyd. Bye.
So I sent that to him because he had asked if I would do that, and I said, "Well, yeah, sure, I'll try to do that." He didn't know if I did things like that, and I don't in general, because when we did the Mayberry Man movie, if you'll remember, some of you might, if you donated a certain amount, you got a voicemail answering machine of Floyd answering your phone for you with your name and everything in it. So I did, I don't know, several hundred voicemails, different ones. I didn't ever get into the doing voicemails things after that, because it was like, oh my goodness, maybe I should do that if people would pay me, if they wanted those. Maybe I should do a paid, $5 or something. I don't know. Anyway, he wrote to me, or he called in after that, thanking me for this, and let's hear from Ryan.
Hey, Alan, it's Ryan Foster here. I want to thank Floyd for the birthday message he recorded for my girls for their birthday. They loved it. Thank you very much. When I played it, you must be doing a good job, because they actually thought it was Howard McNear. They said, I thought he died. And later on, I explained, how I got you to record the voice and everything, and I showed him the Mayberry Man trailer. I showed him you in the movie, and because we haven't watched that yet. And later on, one of them said, "Wow, I can't believe you got a movie star to do it for us." So thanks again. They loved it, and appreciate it. Bye.
I was glad to do that. Thank you. And I don't know that I qualify as a movie star. I was in one movie and a TV show. I've had people, actually, my nieces actually said something like that. Well, Alan is an actor, talking to my brother, and my brother's just shaking his head. But I guess, maybe, I don't know. I don't claim it. I'm not claiming a movie star, but I was the lead, what was I called? The supporting actor in the Mayberry Man movie. There we go. So, but thank you very much. I'm glad your kids enjoyed getting a voicemail from Floyd the barber for their birthday. So I thought that was pretty fun. So thank you, Ryan. And I don't know if you could tell, but Ryan is from somewhere else. Yeah, so I think he's from somewhere else by his accent. So thank you, Ryan. And we have one final voicemail, and then we got some comments and stuff that folks have left. So let's hear from Al Becker. Al Becker.
Good afternoon. This is Al Becker. Y'all, you know Al Becker. Couple questions about the Clint Howard party. What was you said Marcia from Brady Bunch is supposed to have been there. What was the connection with Clint there? And also, you probably might not have noticed, just wondered if Ron drove his VW to the party that night. It's kind of funny, the only other car besides Ford on the Andy Griffith Show, I believe, was a Volkswagen. Have a good day.
Thank you, Al Becker. Al Becker. All right, so it's good to have you, Al. Thanks for calling in. So we did get to go to to Clint Howard's birthday a few weeks, a couple of months ago now, and he mentioned while we were there, and that's what Al was referring to, that Maureen McCormick was there. Now that was Marcia Brady from the Brady Bunch, and what he was asking was, what is the connection? Well, I didn't honestly know. I didn't see her while we were there, because he's the one that told me she was there, and I was like, dadgummit, I would like to have met her. Because, I like Marcia, but it would have been fun to meet her. That would have been really cool. But so I looked it up, and I found out some information for you. So let me pull this up where I can tell you. So I found an article where Maureen and Clint had been on a Art Linkletter show, along with several other child stars. at that time. And this was back in about February of 1970s when it aired with the Art Linkletter. And basically what happened was these kid, they're all kid actors. They had the child star, his name was Darby Hinton. He was on Daniel Boone. Had Clint Howard from Gentle Ben. You had Maureen McCormick from the Brady Bunch. And you had another young man named H.B. Barnum III. He was on a bunch of commercials at the time. Anyway, they got to visit various sites around Washington, D.C. and the Smithsonian, and they got to go to all kinds of places, even the White House. So here's just a little tidbit of that. It's called, where Clint was talking about it. He said, it says, shooting the breeze with big name celebrities was a piece of cake for Clint Howard, who cut his journalistic teeth when he was just 10 years old, which is that time. His first interview gig was a no holds barred one-on-one with a then sitting president Richard Nixon for the Art Linkletter special called A Kid's Eye View of Washington. And Clint says, quote, "It was Maureen McCormick from the Brady Bunch, Darby Hinton from Daniel Boone, me, and a young actor named H.B. Barnum III. And nobody could ever figure out what H.B. had done or been in. But, he filled out the roster." Howard said he enjoyed the trip and to the Capitol there in the nation's capital. He and his castmates reported on the D.C. landmarks and even studied and did homework in the basement of the Smithsonian Institute. But in comparison, that was so much child's play for the child actor. He was especially excited about meeting the pre-Watergate scandal President Nixon. Howard was allowed to come up with one question himself that he could ask. And after some deliberation, the hard-hitting, prepubescent thespian turned reporter decided to grill the leader of the free world in his indomitable way and to take no prisoners. He said, "Mr. President, I'm a young actor and I pay taxes, yet I don't get to vote. Isn't that taxation without representation?" Well, it's easy to see, even decades later, that Howard is still pleased with himself for coming up with that probing inquiry. Basically, Clint went on to say, "They wouldn't let me ask that question, but I was kind of hoping for a big tax refund." So anyway, at a minimum, Clint and Maureen, and Marsha Brady, they knew each other from that, because if there is a YouTube version of this, you can get out there and find it, and it shows them interacting a lot with one another and with Art Linkletter. So it's a really cool thing. So I'm not sure that's the only way they know each other, but that is a way that they know one another. All right. So let's get into some of our comments that we got from YouTube as well. So we've got lots of comments from YouTube. So here's our first one. Question number one, or comment number one, is from Craig Smith. He said, "I had an absolute blast at the meetup." Oh, he went to the Mayberry Meetup. "It's been a while since I've been to Mount Airy. So nice meeting so many wonderful people. I had to edit this. I let my wife take trivia questions, and she got 5 right, which is awesome since she doesn't watch the Andy Griffith Show with me. She just gets her knowledge through collateral learning." So that was a comment he left for the episode Alcohol and Old Lace, which was 2 Chairs No Waiting, 796, last week's episode. So thank you, Craig, for leaving that. This is from Oscar, I guess is what it's from. It says, "I love the Andy Griffith Show. Now I listen to yours truly, Johnny Dollar, on Sirius XM radio stations called Radio Classics, with which show also features Howard McNear." It's very cool. It does. And I listen to yours truly, Johnny Dollar, myself, and it's always fun to hear Howard McNear when he's actually given the role that he runs. He's one of the guys that hires Johnny Dollar. Johnny Dollar is a insurance investigator. All right. Anyway, so thank you for writing in. Thank you very much. This one's from Grace. And it says, "Hi, Alan. I was looking up Hot Rod Otis clips and was delighted to find this old show." And she's commenting on Two Chairs No Waiting number 495, Hot Rod Otis, Professor Brower's class. And she goes on to say, "Just like what you're currently doing on Monday nights. Loved it. Thanks very much. One of my favorite episodes." Wow. Thank you so much, Grace, for leaving that comment. Thank you. I'm glad you found it, and I'm glad you enjoyed it. Let's see. We got Sharon. She wrote in to say, "So my family's been watching some episodes of the Waltons, and I kept calling the Baldwin sisters the Morrison sisters." And of course, she's referring to last week's episode, Alcohol and Old Lace, episode 796. She says, "I'm loving watching Arsenic and Old Lace films, by the way. I'm glad that there was such a good turnout for the Mayberry Meetup. It looks like everyone had a wonderful time. Thanks for sharing so much of it. Hope you have a great Mayberry week." Well, thank you, Sharon. I'm glad you're enjoying that. And the Waltons, the Baldwin sisters, the Morrison sisters, same people. I call them that too, because I can't ever remember the Baldwin sisters. Let's see. Next, we've got one from JB North. And this is commenting on episode 795, Andy Saves Barney's morale. He says, "Under trivia, I saw an episode of the Lucy Show last week where her blind date was Howard Morris. He was playing a Greek lifeguard who goes berserk whenever he hears Greek music." Funny. I bet that was funny. I'd like to catch that one and find it. Thanks for letting us know about that. We will try to catch the Lucy Show. It's not I Love Lucy, the Lucy Show, where Howard Morris appears as Lucy's blind date. That would be, I got to find that. All right. Next up here, we have Frankenstein Lover, wrote in about episode number 794. Those Gossiping Men said, "Thanks, Alan, from the bottom of my heart for everything you do. The events, the Mayberry Knowledge, the podcast, it's all greatly appreciated and needed in today's world." Wow. I am very humbled. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate that. And it does mean a lot. All this stuff I do because I just really enjoy doing. I do love it. It's a lot of fun for me. So I'm glad everybody enjoys it. Thank you. All right. Next up, we're hearing from Sharon again. I think this is the same Sharon. This one is about Those Gossiping Men, 794. She says, "This episode is classic. Thanks for another fun podcast. Hope you have a great Mayberry week." Thank you very much. Let's see. Oh, got her again. 793. She left a lot of comments, so good job. I didn't even pay attention to who was leaving the comments as I was grabbing these, but this is from Sharon as well. Feedback, trivia, and more is the episode title of 793. She says, "It's always fun seeing people's comments. What a great community of Mayberry citizens we have. Those symbols totally came from Symbol City." And she's referring to the symbols that Jan scared me with, which I don't think she has now, because I got them. I put them where I would see her try to get them, I think. Because I scared her with them this afternoon. So I was a little worried. Anyway, she goes on to say, "I hope you have a great Mayberry week and happy 4th. So thank you. I did have a good 4th, and I hope you did too. The Jan has gotten a lot of comments from people, not only here in the podcast, but just in real life. People have seen this and really enjoyed it. My dad being one of them. So, matter of fact, here's another comment. This is from Ferris. It says, "Hilarious, Jan." And it's from the same episode where she played the cymbals and scared the heck out of me at the end of the podcast. So it was pretty funny, I have to admit. And there were several more, but I'm not going to play them all. And by the way, this I think is my last comment of the evening. So thank you guys for leaving comments and for leaving voicemails. Always a lot of fun. I really do appreciate it. And I hope you realize I really do enjoy hearing from you guys, because you hear from me every week, but I don't get to hear from you unless you leave me a comment or a voicemail. I really like the voicemails. They're a lot of fun. All right. So now it's time for some trivia. So let's get our trivia music going. Thank you to the VW boys and Tim White, who was at the Mayberry Meetup, by the way, and I pointed him out to everybody so we could give him a big hand for letting us use this music, and I really do appreciate it. So let's see here. These are trivia questions from Paul Mulik, and this week's topic, Mayberry Teachers. We got 7 questions. Everybody ready? Get out your pencil and your piece of paper, and let's get going. Question number 1. A perfect score is 7 points. 7 points. Okay, our chat room is ready. Here we go. Question number 1. Who was Opie's teacher immediately before Miss Crump? Who was Opie's teacher immediately before Miss Crump? Oh my. It's kind of a hard one. Do you have any idea? So let me give you a hint. It came from Andy Discovers America. That's where the episode was, where this was mentioned. All right. Who is Opie's teacher immediately before Miss Crump? The answer is Miss Warner. Miss Warner was his teacher immediately before Miss Crump. Miss Warner. Ooh, our chat room. I saw Cody, South Carolina Cody got it. Good job. I think he's the first one, and he got it right. So, Mrs. Warner. Miss Warner was his teacher. All right, so I mentioned in the chat room, if you'd like to be a part of the chat room, you can join us on Monday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern Time at live.twochairsnowaiting.com, and you can be in the chat room that I can see. There's also a YouTube chat room and a Facebook chat room. There's lots of them, but the main chat room is at live.twochairsnowaiting.com. Question number 2. When Opie and his friend Joey see Barney dressed as a woman, who do they say he looks like? When Opie and his friend Joey see Barney dressed as a woman, who do they say he looks like? Remember, these are all teachers, if that's helpful. If that's teachers. Okay, I've seen people getting this one. It looks like Claudette Beeman jumped on this one first, I think. All right, I'll read it one more time, give you the answer. When Opie and his friend Joey see Barney dressed as a woman, who do they say he looks like? Now, this is from a hint. It's from the episode The Bank Job. The answer is he looks like Mrs. Cox off of second grade. The second grade. South Carolina Cody got that whole part, by the way, even the second grade part. But I see Claudette Beeman looked like she may have gotten the first one in our chat room. So good job to them. How are you doing? So some folks in our chat room are getting it. Are you? I don't know if I would have gotten. I should have, but I don't know if I'd have gotten these. All right, question number 3. Remember, there's 7 questions. Number 3. Who in Mayberry teaches dancing lessons? Who in Mayberry teaches dancing lessons? Gosh. Wow. I don't think I know this one. Wow. This is a tough one. This is a really tough one. Paul Mulik is in our chat room. This is a hard one. I agree with him. I'll give you a hint even. It's from the episode The Songfesters, and it's never mentioned. Okay? It's never mentioned. All right. The answer, who in Mayberry teaches dancing lessons? The answer is Eleonora Poultice. Yeah. So a note from Paul is it is never mentioned out loud, but it's on her sign. You have to read it. It's, good question. Very hard one, but definitely a legal question. I declare a completely legal question. Good job, Paul. That was a tough one because you stumped some of the folks in the chat room that always get this right. Chris Gomes, he got it. And so did Emmett Clark. Emmett Clark was the first one to get it, looks like. Good job, guys. All right. I'm impressed because I had no idea. So, all right, number 4. What Mayberry teacher was nicknamed the Beast of the Fourth Floor? These are so fun. Even if you don't know the answer, you remember that part, right? The beast of the fourth floor. What Mayberry teacher was nicknamed the beast of the fourth floor? Oh my goodness, people are getting it right in the chat room. I am so impressed. Kentucky Mike looks like he got that one first, I think. All right. The little help, I'll give you a little help, a hint. It's from Opie Loves Helen. What teacher was nicknamed the beast of the fourth floor? The answer is Mrs. Von Reuter. Okay. So a note from Paul, by the way, says, why a town the size of Mayberry would have a school building with 4 floors remains a mystery. That is kind of unusual. I mean, there wasn't a building except the hotel maybe in the whole town that was 4 floors high. My goodness. So the beast of the 4th floor was Mrs. Von Reuter, and the school building was really tall. So I don't know. That's pretty good. All right. Number five. Who is Opie's piano teacher? Who is Opie's piano teacher? All right. Who is Opie's piano teacher? As a hint, I'll tell you that it's from Opie's Piano Lessons. That seems pretty easy. Let's see. I see several folks jumping on this one really quick. The answer is Opie's piano teacher is Clara. Clara is the teacher. So Mike got it. South Carolina Cody. Several people then after that also got it. So I don't really know. Sometimes the chat room, you can't really tell who got it first because you may not be seeing the video completely live if you're watching. You could be delayed just a second, and so you could be handicapped in this. But great job to everybody that's getting it. Did you get it? I think I got this one. This is the first one I'm pretty sure out of getting. So I'm 1. I'll give myself a 1. Number 6. Opie asked the Morrison sisters for some pretty flowers to give his first grade teacher. What was her name? Now, guys, we just did this last week, this episode, and I mentioned it. So, come on, give me this one. I did get this one because it's from the episode Alcohol and Old Lace. We just did that episode last week. I told you the answer. Opie asked the Morrison sisters for some pretty flowers to give his first grade teacher. What was her name? Her name? Mrs. Johnson. And I see Cody and Emmett and Mike and Opie's Charity. Sarah got it. Shazam. Captain Marvel? I'm not sure. Yeah, he's just claiming to be behind in the chat room. That's why he's not getting any right. That's it. But he got it as well. So good job. So it's Miss, not Mrs. I'm sorry. Miss Johnson. Miss, not Mrs. Paul Mulik's correcting me in the chat room. Mrs. It's not Mrs. Miss. M-I-S-S. Miss Johnson. I'll give it to you if you said Mrs. though. I'll give it to you. I'm going to give you either way. Miss Johnson. Because I say them the same way. Miss. Yeah, so I'll give it a MS. That's the way to get away with it. Just write it MS. That way you know you get it. All right, our final question. Which of Andy and Barney's teachers was said to be 107 years old? Which of Andy and Barney's teachers was said to be 107 years old? Oh my goodness, people jumped right on that one too. South Carolina Cody in the chat room got it. Oh my goodness. Opie's Charity. Wow. I'm giving you, no matter if you spell it quite right, but okay, here it comes. I'll give you a little hint. It's from the episode Andy Discovers America. I don't know if that helps you at all, but that's what it's from. Which of Andy and Barney's teachers is said to be 107 years old? The answer, Mrs. Fickett. Am I saying that right? Fickett. Fickett. I think I said that right. Hopefully I say it right. Miss Fickett. M-I-S-S. Fickett. All right. How did you do, guys? That was 7 questions. 7 questions of Mayberry trivia from Paul Mulik. Thank you very much, Paul, for sending that. So I'm extremely impressed. how y'all did. How many did you get? I'm seeing the chat room 6 of 7, 1 of 7. That's more like me. I think I got maybe 1 of 7. 2. I got 2. I would have gotten Miss Johnson and Clara, so I got 2. Boom. I did good. Oh, so thank you, Paul. Those were fun, though. Those are really fun. So I really do appreciate it. Thank you, Paul, for sending these in. It's really, I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying getting them. I've got a whole book of trivia. If you enjoy the Mayberry trivia stuff, there is a book at Weaver's called Mayberry Trivia. It's by Scott Hopkins. It's got 1,500 questions in it, and they're fun. They're a lot of fun. You can just sit there and read them and enjoy yourself. So check out that book. It's a lot of fun to just sit there and read the questions to yourself and see if you can get them right. A lot of fun. All right, guys, that is it for this evening. I hope you guys have enjoyed the show. I know I always enjoy spending time here with you. Thanks for everybody who called or wrote in. I'd love to hear from you if you didn't do that, or if you have already. Still, you can give me a call at 888-684-8415 and leave a message. Or you can email me at floyd@imayberry.com, or leave messages on, all these places where you can leave messages. I try to go and check them and pull them off, and we will eventually, hopefully, get to them if possible. If I don't get to them, I apologize. I do try to read them all, and I respond as much as I can. Thank you all for everything you do just to keep Mayberry Spirit alive. Until next time, everybody, have a great week, and we'll see you here on Two Chairs.